Welcome to Talir. This is a place called Bud. This is budding forth for a new life, and we are Capuchins working for the renewal of the society and the church.
Dear friends, dear sisters, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. For some of you, it's very
Good
early.
morning, Father.
Some are from the light, I think, from sisters from the United States, they are in the night, I think. They are spending their night time to listening to all of us. And some from Malaysia and Singapore, they are towards the evening, late in the evening. So, good morning, everybody. I think for some of you, you are in the evening, the previous day, who are in the United States, some are attending. Some are from South America, Africa, they are in the morning. We are also in the morning. And some of us are very late in the evening. People from Malaysia, Singapore, Thailand, Vietnam, all these people. Dear sisters, this is a global community. This is a global family. And the whole group is only religious sisters, except the two boys are here. I am Capuchin Nitya and my assistant director, Brother Joseph. Both of us are doing only the technical things. The whole session is left to you, and we'll start this day invoking the grace of God. I invite the sisters from Malaysia and Sabah. We are very happy to have the Franciscan Sisters of the Immaculate Conception. This is a local congregation, Sabah, Malaysia. They are going to lead us into the beginning, the starting hymn, hymn to hymn, followed by the end of the session, they'll be singing a small song for diversion. And this congregation was founded by Monsignor August Vector. It's a Mill Hill missionary, and the congregation was founded in 1936. The founder was from Blunz in Austria. Okay. The sisters of this congregation are very much involved in the church, especially in Sabah, through their main apostolate, that is in the field of education for the poor and the marginalized. Their pastoral care, they are fully involved in the pastoral care. They have a home and the hostel for the children. Also, they are involved in the catechetical thing. The sisters from sister from Sabah, Malaysia. Are you there, sister? You can open your screen and you can start your hymn, led by the sisters and followed by the message from their provincial. Welcome, sisters. Sister, what is in your name? I can open the thing.
We are ready.
Yes, louder, please.
Yeah, we are going to start the hymn now, and then after that, the opening prayer.
Volume, sister, volume. Can bring the camera a little down, can faces. Sisters?
Yeah, Father, we are going to start now.
There is your screen. Yeah, okay, you're ready. Yes. Good morning and good afternoon, good evening for you.
Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
Follow me, my Father, for I ever knew of you. Ages before my birth, you knew me. I thank you, Let us pray in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this opportunity to be able to join this session of Women to Women Symposium. We ask you, Father, to bless the organizer of this program and to bless all of us, the
Aruna,
speakers,
one
and
table,
all the
one chair, better na
participants. Father God, send your Holy Spirit to guide us
Your sisters. Thank you, Sister Lillian. I think your voice, your mic is off. Your mic is off. Mic. Yeah, thank you, Sister Lillian and the group. Sisters, thank you very much for the Franciscan sisters. And Sabha, they are doing a lot of ministries. I've been there to some of the meetings. Thank you. Congratulations for all your activities, sisters. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Father. Welcome.
Yes, we will listen to the end of the session. One more song, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes, okay, okay. Thank you, Sister Lillian. And their provincial also, Sister Frances Money, she could not come. She's a little bit sick, I think. So, okay, we'll pray for her. Dear friends, today is an important day for us. The global level, we are gathered here. This is a very important thing for us to understand. There's so many issues are coming up, but there are some issues which are precisely connected to the sisters in religious congregations. Women and religious congregations, there's so much of differences there. The physical differences, mental differences, emotional differences, communitarian issues, social issues, issues of apostolate. In every level, they come across different things. You come away from your family as an individual person. You go and live as an individual person, you go away. This is a prophetism. In this particular issue, you are connected to different communities, different types of people, different ethnicity, different mindset. In all these things, there's a lot of learning process, In the family, a girl comes with, she has to deal with one mother-in-law. But in the congregation, you have to many mother-in-laws will be there, many mother-in-laws. In the community and the family, there will be only one daughter-in-law or two daughter-in-law. But here there are too many daughters-in-laws. So there, in that way, if we find there are so many issues we are facing. Besides, they are really concerned because they asked me, how is that you got this idea? Because I come across so many younger sisters, younger generation, having this sickness. They're having some problem with their body, their periods, the breast cancer, uterus, so many issues. There's nobody to guide what is the way to do. So the beginning we thought we had one particular program for the people in midlife transition. At that particular time, they wanted to have something about this what to do with their biological changes or physical changes and emotional changes. Therefore, we started this particular thing. We have two doctor sisters. One is a medical doctor, another psychological doctor. We are very happy to have them. Morning 10 to 11, this particular Indian time. For 1 hour, we'll have emotional issues, how things are happening to the sisters, how to deal with the people, how to deal with our own emotions. Sister Teresa Mandakath, she will be dealing with that. In the afternoon session, there's one sister Martina. She will be speaking about. She told from the top to top of the toe till the top of the head till the tip of the whole body. She will try to explain on the physical issues. Therefore, that's the second term. The third one will be on the with some questions. There will be a lot of questions from you, some clarifications. You can ask anything. Please feel free to ask anything that you want. We'll be away, and both the two brothers are there. We'll be away. We are only here for a technical aspect. Otherwise, we'll not be involving in anything. So it'll be completely with you the whole day. Feel free to ask things, questions. And I would like to introduce Reverend Sister Teresa Mandakath, a Good Shepherd sister, who will be dealing with this particular hour. She is a background, has got a very rich background of theology, masters in social work, diploma in psychiatric counseling and therapy from Germany, and diploma in pastoral counseling, group therapy, and also she underwent a lot of diploma courses. And the main thing is, she is very much interested in creating awareness and acceptance of the middle-age crisis. She'll be dealing with this acceptance and letting go of midlife crisis, letting go when the physical, emotional, spiritual, intellectual, and interracial behavioral changes in one's life. That's one thing. And he is very much interested in the homeless children and youth from the broken families, drug addicts. It's a very good thing. Formation, provincial counselor, local leader, associated with the Montfort College from Bangalore, that's also there. And she takes sessions and retreats on various topics for men and women religious groups and formation personnel, clergy, other groups. So she's also associated with the vocational groups. So therefore, it's a very good, rich background she has got. Welcome, Sister Teresa Mandakath. Sister Teresa?
I'm here.
Yes, Sister.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Sister. Come, where are you, Sister? Yes, thank you, Sister Swindia.
Very good morning.
Little the camera come little higher. Yes, Sister. So thank you. Wish you all success. Wish you everything best. At the end of the session, 1 hour, the sisters from Malaysia will sing a song for us. Welcome, Sister Teresa. The floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Father, for welcoming me. Good morning to everyone here gathered. It's a blessed day today and a joyful day, for we'll be looking at ourselves today. It's a wonderful day today because God has given us this day to look at ourselves and make changes wherever we can make changes, accept wherever we cannot make any changes. Keeping in mind the social distance, I embrace you from a distance and wish you peace and joy today. Women to Women International Symposium on Midlife Concerns of Religious Life. The psychosomatic concerns of religious women and the way out. This is what Father told me first. Intra and interpersonal relationship with other gender, social, different groups, emotional changes, irritation and anger, accepting genetic changes, hormone-related behaviors, problem with the community and apostolate. Coping up with the physical and emotional changes, the causes, effects, precautions, and alternative lifestyle. This is what Father wrote me first. Based on Father's request, I have prepared a session, and this is in a nutshell. Awareness, acceptance, letting go of, and midlife crisis, and letting God in. With gratitude for all that has been, initiate a process of psycho-spiritual integration and welcome the present moment based on gospel values. Embraced, enlightened, and guided with the wisdom of God, balance oneself a way forward. I also have used some ideas from various authors, like you may know Ken Wilber, Louis Hay, Rick Warren, Freud, Sigmund the first psychologist, Carl Roger, and also Dorothy Lowe, and some other authors' thoughts I have put it in. And during this session, we will have few PowerPoints and also explanation on these PowerPoints. Whatever questions you have, you can keep it. I think Father is giving us in the evening a time, 7 p.m. You can put forward these questions.
Sister, shall we start the PowerPoint? You want me to start the PowerPoint? You have it?
I am starting, Father.
Sister?
I am starting.
You are starting. Okay.
Midlife crisis, transitions, transformation towards wholeness. Life is a cycle of seasons.
Excuse me, sister. Do you want us to put this PowerPoint?
I am already doing here. Okay, Father.
Not clear. You
Okay,
want me
then
to
you
put the PowerPoint?
Yeah.
I have the PowerPoint with me.
Okay, right. Okay.
You want me to put screen it?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Is it okay, sister? All of you can see this? Just show me the sign. Can you see this, sister?
Yes, Father, we can see it.
Yes,
Father.
Father, we can see.
Thank you. Thank you. Sister, you can continue, sister. Is it okay?
No, we can't see. All of us cannot see. Something happened here.
Is it okay, sister, now?
Yes, Father, we can see.
Yeah.
No, we cannot see.
Sister, you open your this one to the. God, I'm going to open the screen. The screen.
Please open your full screen, then only you may be able to see.
All of you can see, sisters?
Yes, Father, we can see.
Yes, Father, we can see clearly.
Yes, Father, we can see.
Okay, thank you. Sister Teresa, can you see, sister?
Yeah, I can see. Yeah.
A little louder, sister. You can start, sister. Thank you. You want me to change? I can change. Otherwise, you can change by yourself. Let me know.
I do change. I will change.
You will
Yeah.
change. Okay, thank you.
Midlife crisis, transition, transformation towards wholeness. Am I audible?
Yes, sister. Audible.
Not able to operate from here.
Father, you have to change because you are presenting.
Yeah, shall I change?
Yeah. I will have to say every time next.
Okay. I like that. Yes.
Life is a cycle of seasons. Midlife is considered to be a time between adulthood and middle age. Midlife transition is somewhere between 35 to 60. Transition of midlife is like passing through a tunnel where one can see the light at the end. Crucial periods of increased vulnerability and heightened potential. Midlife period termed as by different people the dark night of the soul, individuation, the journey inwards, development of the self, a bittersweet time, winter season. During this period, generally, we all women at this stage have a low feeling. A low feeling, we call it depression or mood swings. Now, when we use the word depression, some of have this understanding that we need to go to the psychiatrist. Not at all. We do not need to go to any psychiatrist. It is meant a very low feeling, like I am no one. I have no physical energy. I have no emotional strength. So therefore, when we talk about midlife, we need to focus on one point, that is depression or low feeling or mood swings. One day I feel very happy. Other day I'm not at all happy. And also emotions can overrule my day-to-day activities. A small sketch here, midlife crisis. We can make many sketches, but this is like one example I made. Each one has to make her own. Dreams. One has before midlife many dreams, even when we join the convent. Many dreams to come up in studies, to take good positions, and also to have a lot of friends, a good time in the community, different dreams we have. But these dreams at times break down during midlife. One realizes this is not true at all. It is very different. Everything is unveiled. And during this time, there is a lot of stress one experience. If we take our own provinces or community or our congregation, this is the age where most of us have many responsibilities and also high responsibilities. Like if we take people who are responsible now in our congregation, we can see either they are formators, they are principals, they are in charge of some institutions or in charge of social action ministry or local leaders, provincials, also generals. So therefore, there is a heightened potentiality or potential in each one of us. While there is also a feeling of vulnerability. I can't make it. It is too much for me. But there is an inner power where we can make it. We need to trust this inner power of our unconscious.
Hello.
Also,
Good morning. Yes.
also a lot of worries.
Just now I'll send. Yes.
Some have kept their mic on. I don't know, some disturbance. And there is a feeling of sadness. And whole lifestyle changes. There is a question of one's own vocation. Sometimes we are not satisfied with the responsibility given. And also we become unfriendly. There is a anger, temper. There is a lot of anxiety. And now as this session going on, we will increase awareness in oneself. And while you are listening to me, kindly check your own thoughts. That is how you are checking yourself. We'll go to the next slide. Next. Okay, this I have spoken already. Next one. Once again, we look at this signs and emotions. The question arises in us, what am I doing? Why am I here on earth? How comes I joined this particular congregation? The other one is sometimes better when I listen to others. Sometimes I feel mine is better. Comparisons, change of habits, lot of behavior changes take place. In the night, sometimes we cannot sleep. So shifting sleep patterns with the concerns in the night, waking up with anxiety, waking up with fear, very disturbed sleep. And also one feels trapped. Where am I? What's happening to me? This question comes very often to our mind. Very often, we push ourselves into our apostolate. We are very busy kept. We become workaholic and we forget actually to be aware of ourselves. But here the invitation, the session is given and Father has organized for us to be more alert and to be more aware and enter into oneself. Next. I have designed here a circle or circles. This is an invitation to each one of you, dear sisters. When you have time, you can make your own circles. If you put yourself in the middle, the smallest circle, and begin to examine your conscious or your thoughts or your feelings, with whom am I angry? If you wish, you can write down the names in the circles. The one with whom I am most angry, perhaps the last outer circle, and less angry. So here, if you wish, you can do some exercise when you are alone in a quiet place, taking this sheet with circles, writing down the names of the people with whom you are angry. Sometimes we begin with our own parents, though they were so loving. When we are grown up, we find, oh, father compared me with my sister, or mother compared me with my brother, or with a cousin, or with other schoolmates. And same may have happened during our school time, schooling. The teachers, they love to compare. And sometimes one has not got a chance to perform anything. And some are given most of the time all the chances. So evaluating oneself, examining oneself, looking into oneself, you can write down the names of the people here. The next step would be sitting down in your room or in the chapel. Invite each person of this circle, not all together, one person only you can do one day. And discourse with this person. Share with this person what made you angry or how this person has been angry with you, and put out a lot of things which is not worth, perhaps belittling you, or you may have belittled somebody else, or you may have accused someone else in your anger. If you have not done, don't take this exercise. But as I know, having been relating to many congregations and my own, I know how we struggle with the anger during midlife. Then you share with this person how you feel now towards whatever, very honestly, open in your visualization. And then ask this person also to share with you. And then you forgive each other, reconcile each other, make up each other. Then you will notice your mind will give you more peace, deeper peace, and greater joy. Okay, next. Crisis of limits, developmental stages of midlife transition. Something you may notice I'm repeating. The purpose is really to be aware of what is happening. Now, physical, sister will be taking, emotional, somewhat I have spoken, but still I like to share with you something more. How I relate to my sister in the community. Father has mentioned mother-in-law, sister-in-laws, and so on. Now, if you can really look at yourself, what is my relationship with each other? Is there any difficulty?
Continue. I will mute it.
I can carry on. Can I
You can,
carry on?
yeah, you can carry on.
I would like to stress here on emotional behaviors that we have. Where they come from? I think some participants have their audio on or some.
I have muted it. I have muted it. You can continue.
There are emotional behaviors without thinking. This happens in our communities. Spontaneous reactions or responses, it is called. Reactions are never helpful. You react to someone or someone's thought or someone's behavior. You can always respond. From where they come? Now, the most important thing is to understand oneself. We have not learned this in the congregation. Very humbly, I must say, from many theorists, we learned this at home, but perhaps not very visible because our parents were so loving. There was a very loving environment. As we grow older, our reactions become more, or our responses become more. Early childhood, in the womb, this is happening. It depends on when I have been conceived by my parents. What are the experiences of my parents during the 9 months? Freud says, whatever we experience during this 9 months, it will last for 90 years. Even if you don't live, it means the lifelong we are going to experience. Therefore, during the pregnancy, some experiences we have got, which has created unpleasant experience for us. And we have taken it with us when we are being born. Now, we say usually there are two groups of people. Generally, I'm saying we cannot really judge and categorize. But generally, you look at your own community, there are people who are always happy. They have always some responses. They like to share something good, something productive, some contribution, nourishing our own souls. But some are there always with so much of criticism. And this comes naturally, born with us. But again, after our birth, if our parents have been more loving and caring, this has got healed. Sometimes it is not so. Parents are busy with some responsibilities, they work, and they have not paid much attention. So there is something very interesting. Dorothy Law says. Dorothy Law, she's a child psychologist, and what she did was, when she herself was pregnant, she made a study with when she was pregnant, she made a study. She took a group of women, couples who are pregnant, and another group of pregnant couples. And the first one, she has spoken a lot of good things. How to parent the child in the womb. And the other couples, she did not speak anything. But then she interviewed the children when they're grown up, because she's a child psychologist, as they were growing up, and she found something very beautiful, which I'm going to read it out. She says, if a child lives with criticism, it's a small child, also from the womb, she learns to condemn. Whatever she sees, she will condemn. She will have always something to say about it. Not very positive, mostly negative. If a child lives with dishonesty with the parents, she learns to fight for her rights, If a child lives with fear, she learns to be apprehensive. If a child lives with pity, she learns to feel sorry for herself. If a child lives with ridicule, she learns to be shy. If a child lives with jealousy, she learns to feel guilty. But just opposite, if a child lives with a tolerance, the parents are very good with the child. Even during the pregnancy, mother is not grumbling, father is not grumbling. They are so loving. They look forward to the newborn. Then learn to be patient. If a child lives with encouragement, she learns to be confident. If a child lives with praise, she learns to be appreciative. If a child lives with acceptance, she learns to love. If a child lives with approval, she learns to like herself. And if she likes herself, we can notice she also will love other people in the community, in the apostolate, whoever comes to the house. Very often it happens when someone unexpected turn up. Some sisters are so friendly and some the other way. This is where we are giving a witness, and therefore one has to check oneself. There is nothing to blame our parents. There are theories that says, I become what I want to become. I will become what I want to become. So with the grace of God. So my thinking and my feeding to my unconscious, it works. Whatever you wish, it will happen in your life. If it is good for you, and if it is good for me, otherwise it will not happen. So with that great faith and confidence in oneself will come if the parents have given you enough confidence. And children that are very responsive, you can see sisters who are teachers, they will be able to say, and the formators, they're also very positive in their formation in the schools. And children who have suffered or struggled with the negativism, they also will struggle in their formation, also in during their study time. And every thought we have, even when you are listening to me now, you have some thoughts going on like a tape in our mind. It's a tape, like it's running. So every thought creates an emotion. And some theorists will say, every emotion will create a thought. So to balance between this thought and emotions is one of the main responsibility during the midlife. Spiritual struggles, limits. Spiritual, some feel not at all in a good mood to pray. Meditation time, one feels sleepy or so distracted, or the whole planning of the work apostolate come in. There's no way of focusing. And social, I have mentioned, our behaviors towards other people. How I love myself, I care because I am the temple of God. The same way I will love and care for other people. If I can see myself as a tabernacle, I will see everyone as a tabernacle. And so we respect, we love, we accept. The word namaste says, the divine in me wishing the divine in you. We don't use much namaste now, but if you use that word, most of the languages we have in India, other countries I do not know. So this word says, the divine in you, I am greeting. The divine in me greeting, the divine in you. And so we have next point, recognizing the shadows while going through different stages of life. This I will be taking another time later on. Now we go to the review the past, enrich oneself, and tap feminine power. Most of the time, the women on the whole, in the whole world, we take the second place, if you noticed. Now, who has decided this and who has done, we do not know. Yet, we all know. We also depend on the male most of the time for everything. So, tapping the feminine power within oneself. What is the feminine power? We are complementary to the male. What is the feminine power? The power is to look at my womanhood, motherhood, sisterhood. Every person can enjoy ourselves. We can enjoy ourselves, our own motherhood, being caring, being compassionate, being meek, being forgiving, being present. What our mother has done for us. First of all, she'll be always present wherever we go and come. Even now when we go from the convent, she's alive, she's there. Straight away, she is there to welcome us. So such a welcoming attitude that all of us have got inside. But very often we are clouded with other thoughts, our cravings, like cravings and desires for power, for pleasant experiences. When life is not only pleasant, life also is difficult. We are not ready to take the challenges. Then what happens? The welcoming attitude will diminish in us. That's one example. I think we need to take time during this period to look at our life in the family, how we were, what are the good things our parents taught. Am I really continuing in my community? Most of the families, mother serves for everybody. She'll be the last. I'm not saying the community ought to be the last, but will I take care of others, serving food, or any celebration takes place, will I take care of everybody? Just a good word, just a good praise, just a word of appreciation. All this is, we have to learn if we have forgotten. If you are doing it, sisters, well and good. It's beautiful. I congratulate you. But usually midlife, we lose most of these things. How do we enrich oneself? Progroff, great personality. He talks about breath. Breath. Our breath is our life. So I can enrich myself if I become aware of my breath. The breath is the first in my life in the womb, and the breath is the last in my life in this planet. So to realize, recognize that this breath is life and breath is God. That's an awareness that we need to have during midlife. We have, but intensify this awareness. Initiating a process of integration, inclusiveness. Integration is taking into consideration everything that I have received from God. Physical, however I look, but I am beautiful before God. He has planned and very minutely, He has designed my life, and the whole my life He has planned for me and sent me with a purpose to take part in His mission. He has sent me to the planet Earth. So my lifelong, I'll be looking and searching what is the purpose of my life according to God's plan. So I feel very enriched when I think I'm very unique, I'm very precious. God has created me very beautifully. I'm very special in His sight. I need such awareness. Nothing bad will happen to me. Always He is thinking of me and doing good for me. And also, He sent me in a particular time of the history of my family. He has chosen the parents. He has chosen my siblings. How great God. He has chosen my congregation. And He has given me a responsibility that He wants me to be doing as part of His mission. This kind of awareness and acceptance, this is the reality of my life, help me to let God in always and let go of whatever hurts we have. But as I said, when I spoke about anger, it will not go just like that. We also need to use our talents to get healed. And every response that I make to my life, to my experiences, heals me. Then we go on to initiating a process of integration. I spoke inclusiveness. Everything, Pope says, our common home. So there is nothing bad God has created, nothing bad. Everything is very positive. So we include everyone, even the Naxalites. We cannot judge them, they are bad people, the robbers, the rapist. It's very sad, but they have bad childhood and so they react in their later life. So we accept them, but we don't accept their behaviors. Fostering support and growth at all levels. Now, fostering support and growth at all levels, fostering growth to oneself, support to oneself, growth to oneself. I keep growing every day. I need to experience that. I'm growing every day, closer to God, closer to people, closer to creation. Somebody cannot connect. Sharing one's feelings with an empathic listener, taking guidance. This is the most important thing during midlife crisis, midlife transition or transformation. We look for someone. I suggest you, dear sisters, I do not minus fathers. They're great people. They can always help us, and they have been always helping us, especially with the Eucharist and retreats and so on. But during midlife, I suggest you to have a woman guide who understands you better. When I meet people, groups like this, I will say, and male members in their midlife crisis, they should look for a male. Later on, once when we have more or less come out and we have started the process of integration, that's a time we look for also opposite person, opposite gender, male. So having a female friend for all of us now today, because we women are gathered, and later on having also a male friend or more male friends, very useful, very supportive, and very growth promoting. Okay, we'll move to the next slide. Okay, healthy midlife transition, midlife crisis just ahead. So we'll go to the next one. How the healthy midlife transition take place. Once when it takes place, we can say winter is past, the rains are over and gone, the flowers appear on earth, the season of glad songs has come, the cooing of the turtle is love is heard in our land. Meaning you feel so very joyful once when we meet somebody, a guide, a supervisor, a counselor or spiritual guide for guidance, and you begin to work on yourself. As I said in the beginning, first awareness, acceptance of oneself and others and the whole of creation, letting go of the past and letting God in. This is a situation one feels happy. Next. Next slide. This I have already spoken about depression and the process of transition. As I already said in the beginning or at one stage, everyone goes through this depression. And you can see here the little figures going up and down. This is just to have an idea how the transition takes place. So one has to have a lot of courage to accept this. When one feels down, no need to go very down. We know we can wake up, we can get up, and there is some guide for us, and there is the Lord waiting for us. So that hope to have always and enter into the midlife crisis. Next. Transition period. Midlife transition is a period of time where the adulthood is dying. Now let us look at the adulthood. If you can recall your young age, how beautiful you are looking, how wonderful you were. You had a lot of jokes and you enjoyed your life. This one group of people I'm talking. You're good at studies and you looked very pretty. Not a wrinkle on your face, not a little bit gray. You're so fresh. You had a lot of energy, lot of energy. And this particular adulthood slowly dying out. You can notice it is dying out. And something new is coming. It's called rising. So we also say womb to tomb. So midlife is somewhat in the middle. We say 12 noon to 3 p.m. This is midlife time. Heightened potential for everybody. The group that is, or the person who is a bit negative also, the person who is also positive. So 12 noon to 3 p.m. is the time. And you notice the days are running like anything. Bigger responsibilities you are getting, you need to balance, and so on. And the era of middle adulthood is yet to be born. The birth will take place only gradually. You are swinging between young adulthood and midlife, 12 noon and 3 p.m. If you want to say that way, because sunrise is happening in the womb and sunset in the tomb. So very important period. That's a very important period, and we need really to focus this time in our own life. That's why I said 60. At times, it can also start earlier. Suppose you are undergoing an incident, say sudden one parent died, or an accident took place, or you're shifting one country to another country. Any psychological incident can set in with a midlife transition, midlife limits. We say 40 years is a merciless age because a lot of responsibility and also heightened potential, and we are also very vulnerable at that stage. So it won't allow self-deception any longer. No, everything will be unveiled, revealed, betrayed. You are who you are. Others will start seeing that. Midlife crisis has been recognized as a malady of the 20th century. Before that, not so much recognized. But from 20th century, people have been writing books. There are a number of books on this. If you go to the Google, just put midlife, there are a number of books. So that will be helpful. Okay, we move on to the next. One feels at this time need to care for the next generation, productivity and creativity. I want to care more. My motherhood is growing. Sisterhood is growing. The best place is to practice in the community. We continue to check our thoughts. What am I thinking of the other person? Can I love this person as I do to my own sister? Will she become my own sister? And also for the next generation. The younger sisters who are coming into our community, the new groups are arriving in the school, new classes, new admissions. We want to give them what we learned in our life, good things. And if you are more negative sided, one has to be very careful. One has to get healed more and more in that area. Productivity. Sometimes we have a fun saying, this age, we are building buildings. We put up many buildings, beautiful buildings, useful buildings. There are people during this time write books, poems, stories. They're very good at that. They're very productive. They're using their potentiality for something great at that stage. And they continue that. And very unfortunate sisters among us, I'm saying, some of us will think twice about our vocation. It's good to reflect. One should not lose our- When we are in a crisis, vocation crisis, it is always and always useful to meet another sister who has gone through middle age. That means elder than the middle age person. Or at the end, let's say a sister about 50 who is going through, who has already initiated the process of integration towards wholeness. So it is very important, that stage. We all know some sisters have lost their vocations, some of our congregation, because of this midlife crisis. When I say this from my own experience, when they come later on after leaving the congregation, they come for counseling. It is very sad to see. They regret. And they say, I wished I would have met someone else who would help me. And also we know, relating to male members at that time, I work with single mothers, sisters, rightly, presently, and I know how sisters land up with pregnancy. I do not want to speak this more, but I would like to draw your great attention when a sister is troubled in your community. I request the local leaders or the elderly sisters or the provincial or anyone responsible to build a good rapport with his sister and get her to speak out her struggles. It is very important. If we don't do this, sister will look for some comfort outside, some consolation outside, and may land up with a male who is also going through this struggle in his congregation or in his profession, sometimes lay people also, and get pregnant. And we know, very sad to say, every minute, 3 babies are aborted in our country. And don't let us be surprised. Once in a way, there is a sister doing, because she is forced to do by the male. This is for you, I'm saying. I don't wish we speak this much about it to outsiders, but we need to take care. How we take care? I repeat, pay attention to our sisters in the community. If anyone is going through a crisis, make a note of it. Either you yourself start praying for the person and meeting that person with a good rapport, build up a relationship, help her to speak out, help her to share her struggles, whatever struggles. Or gently ask her to meet the provincial, or with her permission, you tell the provincial or general or a senior sisters, but everything has to be done in confidentiality. We sisters are, I don't know your congregations, but I have seen even in my own congregation, we get worried and we like to talk about the sister behind her back, which is not at all helpful. One main thing is to think that she's also a tabernacle, she's also temple. Right now, she is low with the struggles. She has no energy to take all the challenges. So I, as her sister, or I, as local leader, I take interest in her, I support her, I stand by her. Okay. Now we move on to the next point, establishing oneself. Yeah, okay, it's fine. Now we have gone through body change. Sister Martina will be speaking. Affectivity, I have already spoken. Unfinished business. Very often we have in our experience, father died or mother died or a sister died or a close friend died, or there was an incident or accident that I could not digest. That they are called unfinished business. I'll be coming back to that, death awareness. All this I'll come back to these points another time. I have something created, another PowerPoint. So we'll carry on. I'd like to see the next PowerPoint. How to cope with the change in midlife. I've been talking about this to some extent. I continue to talk when I take the next PowerPoint, please. Here, the invitation is to stop, reflect, act. Characteristics of early adulthood. This is before midlife. If you take in your 20s, when we were in 20s, we made a commitment to another individual. Married life, that's a husband. But in our life, we have made a commitment for life to Jesus. Along with that, we also make some commitment to projects, our mission. Cause, that's our mission. And here I have put intimacy with isolation. Erik Erikson says, at this stage, very strongly, we are intimate with Jesus. We enter into the relationship with Jesus and his people. So all his people become my people. And isolation for the people, as I said earlier, in the womb, if I have experienced a lot of negative experiences, I become alone, aloof. In the community, I hardly speak. When there is a recreation, I just sit there. Somewhat I pass my time. Here again, community sisters can take interest and support this particular sister. And developed person will be the capacity to share oneself, one's life, ministry, close friendship, and spirituality with somebody else. Who are the somebody else? Maybe one or more sisters in our community. Or from other congregations also we find people. When you have a chance, you meet and you share. Undeveloped, as I told from the beginning of sometime from the beginning, very undeveloped is the child in the womb. Born unwanted, the child will become very reserved. Fears of sharing anything, telling anything, even though these days we talk about circular leadership model, transformational leadership model, but this person will be so frightened to share anything. Avoids any kind of contracts with anyone, even in friendship, cannot have any understanding that we'll meet again and we'll share. That will not happen. Next. And
Sister Teresa,
yes, Father.
it's already time is up, sister. You can wind up in 5 minutes, and rest of the thing, if there's anything, you can ask them some questions. You can wind up in the evening, you can touch, sister. Or we can officially wind up, then you can ask some clarifications if they want. They can ask, sister. That's what helpful for them also.
Okay.
The rest of the thing, can you keep in the evening, in the afternoon?
Afternoon, Sister Martina will be
evening, 6 o'clock, 6 to 6:30. Half an hour is there for you.
Yeah, but will participant will be
Not clear, sister.
okay.
Yeah. And hello, dear sisters. Actually, this time is over. But in case you want to continue, sister will continue with regard to the clarifications. The common thing is she'll be addressing once again in the evening 30 minutes more. Is it okay, sisters? You can unmute and tell any question. If you want to raise your hand, you can raise your hand. I will lead you into some maybe 10 minutes of some clarity. Yeah, some questions. You can write your questions. You can write your question. The sister will collect all the questions. She'll be able to prepare and come in the afternoon, in the evening session, not in the afternoon, evening 6 to 7.
Father, it is very helpful if we continue
Yes.
for some more
Okay.
time, Father.
Okay. But officially, if the sisters have to go somehow to go, we are not obstructing. This is optional. Now, so far, 229 are there. In case some want to go, you can go and come back, but sister can guide you.
Continue.
Yes, sister can continue clarifying your doubts and the other things. Is it okay like that? Some you ask some questions based on what she has told. Otherwise, you'll ask sister. What do you say?
Father, sister can continue, Father. It's very interesting, Father.
Okay, you wait. Let me know. Let me know. You just put in the chat box. You want to continue the session or you want clarifications? As you like, we will. You write in the WhatsApp box, please. In the WhatsApp box, you just say continue. Otherwise, you say for maybe some 20 minutes will continue. Is it okay like that? 20 more minutes? For me, no problem. I can give 1 hour also for sister. Sister Teresa. People are mad after you now. Huh?
Continue.
You can add a note in your chat box.
Continue, Father.
Father, the session is very good. I think sister started late, 10:30.
Many are ready for some 15 minutes of 15 to 20 minutes. Okay, very good. 15 to 20 minutes, we'll ask sister to continue. Then you please write your questions. That means any clarification, any particular area, sister will prepare and come. In fact, you can also write in a WhatsApp group. I'll ask sister also in the WhatsApp group. She'll prepare, and the afternoon she will address all those things. Okay, sisters. Sister Teresa, you can continue for 20 minutes more, sister. 15 to 20 minutes more. And when the sisters are giving their questions in WhatsApp, you can address once again in the evening, sister. Is it okay like that?
I will do. Yes, yes.
Excellent, 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 sister. Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you, thank you.
Please continue, sister. Yeah.
Yeah, please unmute all your mics, mute your mics, then sister will continue. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. And Simon says, women or women now in middle age can choose to make the next year's matter. What I want to become, I can make it. Bring everyone. Clearly compelling as it emerges, sharp. You know, as the years go by from 35, 40, 45, 50, we really become sharp. We become very focused, crisp and crisp. We have the energy. We have initiated the process of integration, inclusiveness, taking the whole creation into our hearts. We become very strong. At this precise moment of new life generates and explorers excitement. It's very excited. That's what you can see people who are in their 50s, most of us, I'm saying, not everybody. In their 50s, they are with full of energy.
All have not unmuted.
Please mute your microphone.
I think somehow not. So I will like to invite you to take courage to look at oneself, experiencing one's own anger at times. We don't need to react. We don't need to burst out if you are aware of it, while facing the truth of oneself. Why I'm speaking more time about the anger system? This is happening. This is happening in our communities and in our apostolate. Okay, now next. Can we go to the next slide? There is a question, please send to me in my WhatsApp. I will be answering. Okay, now let's look at once again development of shadows. The shadows
Sister Teresa, unmute yourself, sister.
Okay, is that okay now?
Okay, okay, sister. Yeah.
The shadows is comprised of all the energy. What is the energy we are talking about? We are talking about our physical, emotional, intellectual, social, spiritual, and ideas that one has, behavior patterns, temptations, thoughts, experiences, attitudes, feelings, events, talents, weaknesses, memories, and fantasies. From the time of our birth, our parents control our behavior, even our thought patterns,
Please join the WhatsApp.
do and don't, do's and don'ts. So we are growing up with that, and we suppress all our feelings. We love our parents and we want to please them. If my father doesn't like me to speak out, I will not speak out. If my mother does not want me to do such things, I will not do it. So everything is suppressed from the childhood. So our unconscious is like a store. It's a big store. Or we also can use the word a well, where everything is put underneath. And the clear water is outside. That is the public self. Public self is the clear water. When we look into the well, I hope most of you have seen well. Other countries, I do not know. Some countries I know, they have open wells. We also in India, we have open wells. So we see our face so beautifully. We are happy. But underneath, all the shadows are lying. Decomposed items, suppressed feelings and thoughts, controlled behaviors, all of them are lying there. So that's a public self. In the midlife, what happens? This will come out very strongly, and we have to address them. And shadow being part of our inner self, one finds them in the other person rather than in oneself. I will send the WhatsApp number at the end. Yeah. So that is called projections. Sisters, we need to think what I see outside. It is me. It is me. I cannot say she's so angry. That anger is in me also. She's so anxious. It is in me also. She's so unpleasant. It is in me also. Same way, when she's pleasant, that is also in me. When she's happy, that's also in me. So there is a saying in our Indian culture, you see in other person a guru because you have a guru in yourself. My professor always used to say that. There is a guru. When I called him, you're my guru, and touched his feet. That's our Indian culture. And he was from other country. He said, I have a guru in me, very true. Because you have a guru in you, you could see that guru in me. Guru means master. So there is a master in me. That's how I can see the master in other people. So we can develop more and more these things. So the others, the environment, the community is a mirror. So we pay attention, what's going on in my thoughts, what's going on in my feelings. They all, what do I see outside? They all are mine. They're hidden. So you wake them up and you let them go. Say, I don't need them now. I want to go forward. Personal shadow and collective shadow. Quickly, I like to explain that. I'm aware of the time. Personal shadow is my personal experience. That happens mostly in the mother's womb. While collective shadow is we experience as a family, as a community, and we have suppressed them. Let's say one accident took place for one of our sister or our driver. Now we don't want to talk about it. It's very painful, so we suppress them. Like that, there are many. Or my provincial scolded me so badly. I can't think of it. It hurts me, so I suppress them. These are shadows. During midlife, we are opening up and bringing it out, looking at it, accepting it, and letting go. So awareness of shadow, recognizing shadow, intimate a journey towards, okay, I have said that. Next slide, next PPT, next PowerPoint. Next. This I have already spoken, awareness, acceptance. So now here I am going to speak something additional, perhaps, yeah. This is something on initiating a process of wholesome integration. We are part of the universe, part and whole. The universe is the whole, and we, each one of us is part of it. None of us can say, I don't want to be here. Then the universe is incomplete. I cannot see in my community, if I'm sent there or if I'm transferred, I don't want to be here. Then the community at this particular time of the history is incomplete. The mission is incomplete. Keeping this in mind, we look at this. Now, the spirit is you. The thoughts and intelligence. Question, am I positive in my thoughts? I see good things outside in the world, or I see negative. This is something to reflect. And with this thought, if I have a good thought, I also have a good feeling of forgiveness, good feeling of attitude, of gratitude, and so on. And the body and behavior. Most of these shadows, suppressed feelings, they affect our body. Sister will be talking more on that, I suppose. So it affects us. I feel tired, and the weak part of my body takes up a sickness. And gradually, chronically, it becomes a sickness. Louisa says, cancer, she doesn't judge, neither I judge, but I also dealing with cancer patients, and I know when the cancer set in. All of us have these cells, but when we are very angry, the depth of anger comes in. It can set in either a severe sickness or suicide. We don't go for suicide, perhaps, but we know these days, sadly, it is happening also. Religious and priests are committing suicide. I don't go into details, okay, just to pay attention. So community and family, whatever is in my family, I live in the community. So sisters, no blaming the community. One has to be alert, one's own life. And like Gandhiji says, and many other writers say, begin with myself. I chisel myself. It's like, you know, I always think in the midlife, one picture of a big rock and the sculpting take place, and afterwards a beautiful statue comes out. So how much one has to chisel it, keep sizzling and make oneself a good statue. How, what is a statue? A person who is initiated a wholesome integration and moving from 12 noon to 3 p.m. and 3 p.m. to sunset, to the womb. And so apostolate also. So we go to the next one. This poem says the truth of ourselves. You are who you are for a reason. You can't change this. You are part of an intricate plan by God. You are a precious and perfect, unique design called God's special woman or man. You look like you for a reason. Our God made no mistakes. He knit you together within the womb. You are just what he wanted you to be. The parents you had were the ones he chose, and no matter how you may feel, they were custom designed with God's plan in mind, and they bear the master seal, God's seal. Next slide. So therefore, some strategies for renewing oneself. I have mentioned these points, but now I'm summarizing. Identify the real assets and new possibilities. Possibilities under the guidance of a person or attending a session or reading books. Befriend and enrich your inner companion. Who is the inner companion? Who is the inner companion? oneself, and the conscious, and the great conscious, the supreme. Update your values and priorities at this stage. Sit down, write down, and choose them. Which one you want to nourish and which one you want to let go. Discover and commit yourself to a cause that excites you. Now, here one point I want to make. Sisters, we are given always responsibilities. But still, if you divide our day, 24 hours, we will find some time, 1 hour or 2 hours, apart from all our duties done, our spiritual reading, meditation, prayer, we will find 1 or 2 hours to do some charity. One special career you need to take up, one has to take up. Visiting a cancer patient in the parish, or visiting a cancer institute, old people, people who are suffering from HIV, you can choose, you all know what I'm talking about. Or a child's from the school, her family, or a child who is with you, like a single mother or a woman in distress, wherever possible. Spend at least a half a day in a week to do something that you really dreamt of in your life, but you are not able to do that. If you are in administration, you have very less contact with this kind of downtrodden people. So can you make a time for that? Many of us are doing. I would like to encourage that. Discover and commit yourself a cause. That's what I'm saying. Let go of my energy, wasting load of anger, guilt, fear, and grief. No holding on to them. There's no meaning. Let myself really live in the here and now. Treat your minuses, not minutes, minuses, and potential as pluses. Now we'll go to the next one. Next slide, please. We move to the next. Can I have the next slide, please? Okay. This point, need for forgiveness, lead towards wellness. This point I like to speak to you. There is still 5 minutes.
Sister,
yes.
I think there is a lot of interest in your talk. A good number of sisters are still there. I asked that sisters to sing a song. After that, we'll continue. 3-minute song.
Yes. Yes,
That
sure,
group from Malaysia, sisters from Malaysia, can you unmute your this one on the screen, sister, and you can come a song. Then we again will be continuing. We almost all are here. Yeah. Sisters from Malaysia, Sabah. You can unmute yourself, sister. Hello, Sabah, sister. No. Hello. Sisters from Malaysia. No, not that one. Sister is. Sister Lillian. Sister Lillian. Lillian. Sister Lillian, are you there? Lillian, no. Malaysia, no. FSIC. FSI. Sisters, are you ready? Yeah. Okay. All of them can unmute. No. Sister Teresa. Sister Teresa, அவங்களும் admit பண்ண முடியாத. Continue the talk. Okay. We'll continue the talk. Sister Teresa, you can continue the talk, sister. I think really Sister Lillian cannot hear. Sister Teresa, அவங்க unmute பண்ண முடியாதா? Okay. Sorry, sisters. You can continue, Sister Teresa.
Yes, Father, I'm here.
Yes, sister. Thank you.
I like to share with you something.
Very good.
On forgiveness. Louis Hay, and also there are a number of people, authors and people who have experienced themselves, and myself also found we get sick when we have not forgiven people. I have shown you one circle on anger. Likewise, also later on we are showing one. Father, you can move the next slide. Yeah. Let's forgive and let's reconcile. This should be really our inner strength and our banner. It's beautiful for us religious to hold a board or a signpost to say, let's forgive and let's reconcile. First of all, first and foremost, I invite you to do this with yourself. Very often when you have made mistakes, we do not want to forgive ourselves. And we project this unforgiveness to other people. Louis says, unforgiveness, anger, guilt, and resentment are the main cause for cancer. Now, sisters, when you leave the session, please don't let's judge those who have cancer. We know these days many religious have cancer, very many, and we suffer from that. So if you really have done this with the cancer patients and also religious, where I have guided them, helped them, and when I sat with them, I come to know there is an area where they have not forgiven at all. It can be to our parents, as I said earlier, it can be to our teachers, it can be to parish priests, to our formators, to our local leaders. And also I want to say, since we are only women among us, most of us, sexual abuse, many have suffered. I don't say all or not many, but some of us. This perhaps we have not spoken out. It has turned into anger and resentment and disappointment in life. So sometimes as child, we have suffered, some people have suffered from sexual abuse. Sometimes as young girl, sometimes as a formie or a religious. This is an area one has to take guidance and speak out everything what is in your mind. And once when you have forgiven the persons, you notice you are so strong. You are very strong. You become very strong, and you become a great complementarity to the male members in the society. We are not equals. We are equals, yet we have differences. The role of a male is different from role of a woman. We all know that, isn't it? So therefore, I invite each one to look at this during the midlife and also help sisters. Dear sisters, don't push them sometime. Hey, you go and see that father, this father. It's okay, good. I really honor fathers. I have a group of fathers. I'm part of this particular WhatsApp group. And I'm very happy to say they're great people. But for a woman to share about her sexual experience with a male, very important that you meet a woman. Afterwards, you go for a confession and you have confession. That's fine, yeah. Because priests are mainly blessed and ordained for this. And we need to have an attitude that everyone deserves forgiveness in my community, in my family, in all my groups, wherever I am, in the school, the rehabilitation, the social action ministry, wherever we are. And forgiveness addresses your inner pain. When you really want to forgive or ask pardon, I shared with you when I spoke about you about anger, how you see the person in your visualization, and you really speak out what you want to forgive and all that what you want to ask pardon also. That time you address your pain. Yeah, you really address your pain and you have an attitude of letting go. letting go, because I'm the tabernacle. I want to be pure and clear. And I want my tabernacle to be very beautiful for Jesus. So I have to let go all this unforgiveness, resentment, disappointments. And so forgiveness is healing and wellness. And forgiveness is a hallmark of a spiritual or religious person. I underline this. Forgiveness is a hallmark of a spiritual and religious person. Okay, we move to the next. Next slide. Fostering support and growth. Growth is a continuous choice, a repeated yes to the planned and unplanned evolution of life events. It's like a river, I will say. Along with Shaila Murphy, I like to use the imagery of a river, how the river is flowing. How the river is flowing. Once it is good for you to sit down and just observe a river. It's very beautiful. It's very beautiful. You can observe a river. It flows. And when there is a big tree fallen, the water divides and move out. If there is a big rock, water divides, but so peacefully. Fostering support and okay, then we'll move on. It's a time for us to see the flaws of ourselves and stop being alarmed. Mistakes I make, I accept. It's a time for us to embrace wholeheartedly our humanness, to love our incompleteness. Incompleteness, embrace. Every human being contributes something to the universe. So I'm not contributing everything. I'm not unilateral. So my part. So if I have made a mistake also, I can get healed from the universe. There's a cosmic energy. If I invite this energy, it's all around, even around me now, around you now, it comes and heals you. It's a time for us to cherish the unwanted, to welcome the unknown in our life, to treasure the unfulfilled. When we awaken to who and what we really are during midlife, we find that we are filled with a dynamic source of energy, lot of energy in a woman. Not like some sisters say, oh, I'm so tired, I'm growing old. No, no, no. When you really go through the midlife, you see, you get double energy. And while you are 60, you'll be with full of energy. You can take up any responsibility. And that is how many of our generals and all at that stage, isn't it? Or many sisters fully fledged getting awards from government and other people and other agencies, because that's the time they do their best, 50s and 60s. We also find we can tap into a well of creativity that feels limitless in us. There's a well of creativity. You start one and you notice the other one. Okay. A prayer for coming home. I wish this prayer, something similar you make at one time. This I have spoken, Father. We can pass on this forgiveness. Friendship also I have spoken. Wholeness, integration, all that I have spoken. Each one has to do their homework. We'll go to the next. Yeah, conclusions Father has taken. Thank you. Life becomes transcendent. Everything goes to the universe, to the cosmic energy. Empathic feeling arises most directly out of what we have already experienced in ourselves. Empathic. We are so empathic towards people, so kind, so compassionate, so loving. Middle ages develop concrete wisdom. There's a wisdom in us at that stage. They are not driven by compulsion or impulsiveness. No impulsiveness. Till then they may have been. No compulsion. Nobody can force me. Compassion, an attitude of compassion, attitude of gratitude, welcoming, peace, harmony, serenity, positivity, forgiving is truly broadened and deepened in me and in others. Middle ages grow in wisdom by transcending purely rational knowledge to a transactional knowledge. Appreciation of life, I will say, like to say, always we work at this stage with the heart, head, and hands. Heart for women first, then head and hands. Time after time, Tagore says, time after time, I came to your gate with raised hands, asking for more and yet more. You gave and gave, now in slow measure, now in sudden excess. It goes on like that. It's a beautiful thing to read and reflect. Okay, next one. I have put here thank you with some words. Transparent, humble, we become affectionate, noble and kind, youthful, optimistic, and untiring we will be in our mission. Next point. It's my own name I have described, and I request and suggest to you to do such things. Actually, this was given to me by one group of people when I had addressed the group. Then I liked it also. Teresa, tender, enduring, robust, enthusiastic, sensible, and affable. I thank that group now, and I send a vibration to this particular group who has written about me this. But I agree with that, and I work towards this. So I take this opportunity to thank Father for inviting me and also for operating the PowerPoints. And I thanks to each one of you, dear sisters, for your listening and for your interest, for your enthusiasm. I saw in the chat box, many want to continue. I am there available. I said just now my phone number.